It's Thursday, November 24, 2025. INEC's continuous voter registration is still ongoing, so if you haven't registered yet, this is a good time to do it and get ready to vote. On the news this hour, Rivers State government revolves right to 65,757 square meter Iguruta land for new waste facility. High Prep says Ebubu water tank ruptured, did not collapse. President Tinubu orders withdrawal of police from VIP duties across countries. Now the Kano's family rejects court judgment on the foreign scene South Korea's most prolific online sex criminal sentenced to life in prison. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. We begin the news this hour by telling you that the Rivers State government has taken back the right to a 65,757 square meter piece of land in Iguruta to build a new waste disposal and recycling center. This action is part of the Ruwama project to improve waste management and public health in the state. The government has informed everyone with an interest in boundaries and coordinate of the site in Iguere local government area. Now to a story that has yet again brought criticisms to the quality of project by High Prep. The public relations officer of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, Nuolare Mbawigo, says the water tank in Ebubu community did not collapse as reported but only ruptured. Speaking on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire, Nwigo explained that High Prep uses two types of water installations, ground tanks and elevated tanks. He says the exact cause of the incident is still unknown, but security agencies have been sent to protect the area while investigations continue.
Both the elevated tank and the ground tank, and so the ground tank had ruptured. It's important we get the context right. It did not collapse. So in the meantime, we cannot entirely say that it is a case of sabotage or it is a case of equipment failure, if you like, and all of that. Investigations with the Guara instance, for instance, and then it will still follow with this.
Responding to claims that High Prep uses substandard materials, Nwigo insists that all materials used by the agency meet the required standards.
Even a professional as well to conclude about the use of substandard materials on our project when there hasn't been a thorough investigation as to whether or not it was a case of material failure. But in terms of the standard of project delivery, I can say to you that there is nothing to be worried about the standard of our projects. These incidences are isolated as far as we are concerned, and of course they are unfortunate. All of High Prep's projects are first designed.
However, Emmanuel Wafo, a journalist from Eleme local government area, disagrees. He says High Prep has not checked the damage caused by the incident. According to him, the water tank fell with a loud explosive sound and destroyed school buildings, poultry farms, and fences. He adds that the water also flooded nearby homes and farmland. Wafo also questions the quality of materials used, saying the facility has lasted for barely a year.
The tank exploded. I don't know what kind of material was used. On Saturday morning, precisely around past 10 a.m. in the morning, the workers at the facility there began pumping water. And the people around the premises said that there was sound coming from the tank. The next day, there was a loud bang and the tank exploded. Pulled down the fence of the high-tech facility, pulled down the neighboring fence, scattered the house, even the school nearby. No attempt was made to look at the properties that had been destroyed. Properties worth millions were destroyed.
He further claims that High Prep supplies poor quality water that may be harmful to residents because the inside of the tank is already rusting.
the interior part of the tank that they are talking about, had rusted. And if you see the depth of the rust inside that tank, you will further to think what kind of water is tempting to the people of Ifechukwu in the past 1 year. The water at depth, even from that tank, and the interior part is so rusted, then it means that the water that the people have been consuming for the past 1 year has been superior to their health.
Nigeria Info recalls that this failed water project comes just barely 3 weeks after a similar water tank collapsed in Gwara community 4 days after being commissioned by the Minister of Environment. To other stories, discussions about artificial intelligence, especially how to balance AI and human values in the 21st century, were the main focus of Spectacular Day 2025. The event, titled Roots and Rhythm, Celebrating Our Cultural Values, was organized by the Rivers Spectacular chapter of the Imo State University Alumni Association. Speaking after the event, the chapter chairman, Christian Kano, said the IMSU Alumni Association plans to build a data center for youth in River State.
So River State will hear about Imo State University Alumni Association. We are going to build a data center. We are going to have data center for children to be able to go online, study, and equip themselves with the 21st century technology. We're also going to go into partnership that works. We are going to collaborate with so many institutions, including Wazobia FM. Beyond the world becoming a global village, AI has come to stay. AI is the new biggest thing that is happening. And I said it in my speech that somebody said that AI is the new culture. So AI will talk about the way we pray, the way we eat, the way we interact with each other. AI is taking over. That is why we need to equip our younger ones.
Earlier, the Vice Chancellor of Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, Professor Ifechukwu Onuchukwu, represented by Dr. Florence Iruawose, gave a keynote speech on the nexus of artificial intelligence and humanity in the 21st century, emerging considerations. Now, he is calling for teamwork between human intelligence and AI to improve efficiency and prevent duplication of effort. The event brought together people from different backgrounds and featured panel discussions, meet and greet sessions, cultural musical performances, and award presentations. One of the awardees, Wazobia FM Programs Manager, China Acheru, spoke to a correspondent, Nandiwala.
From what I see on the award, it's in recognition of my outstanding achievements, professional excellence, and positive influence and admirable service to humanity. I can only say thank you. It's one thing to do things, it's another thing for people to recognize you for what you've done as a good deed or as good deeds. So I want to say thank you to the Imo State University, to my friend Christian Kanu, who championed this move, and to all those who feel I've been a good role model to them. It's what I am, it's who I am, that's what I do. So thank you to everybody who have recognized me today.
On the way from that, the Board of Trustees of the Assembly of Kalabari Christians has announced the dissolution of its executive officers following the expiration of their tenure. The decision was reached during a Congress meeting held on Friday, 14th November 2025 at First Baptist Church, Agri Road. To manage the affairs of the organization pending new elections, the board has constituted an electoral committee to oversee AKC activities. The committee is chaired by Bishop Ifechukwu Bob Manuel. In his congratulatory message, the chairman of the AKC Board of Trustees, Reverend CFL Membere, urged the newly appointed committee to begin preparations for the 2025 Kalabari Day of Thanksgiving, scheduled for Friday, 12th December 2025. The board also extends an open invitation to all Amayana Post chiefs, ministers, elders, sons, and daughters of Kalabari Kingdom to participate actively in the Assembly of Kalabari Christians. The announcement was signed by Apostle Somi Erekosima, Secretary of the Board of Trustees. And now to security. President Bola Tinubu says he will not stop until all kidnapped students and other victims of insecurity are rescued. He confirmed that all 38 worshippers abducted in Iruku, Kwara State last week have been freed. The president emphasized that every Nigerian has the right to safety and his government is committed to protecting the country. He also reveals that at least 50 students kidnapped from a Catholic school in Niger State have now been rescued. President Tinubu adds that he cancelled his trip to the G20 summit in South Africa to personally oversee security effort at home as he continues to monitor the situation across the country and receives regular updates from the front line. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has directed police officers attached to VIPs across the country to return to core policing duties. The order follows a security meeting he held on Sunday with service chiefs and the head of the DSS in Abuja. Under the new arrangement, VIPs who still require security will now apply for armed protection from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The presidency says the idea is to boost police presence in communities, especially in remote areas where many stations currently operate with very few officers. What's still to come? Nnamdi Kanu's family rejects court judgment. Stay with us. You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. 50 of the more than 300 children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic primary and secondary schools in Papiri, Niger State, have escaped from their captors. The Christian Association of Nigeria says the children fled between Friday and Saturday and have since reunited with their parents. CAN also gave fresh figures after a verification exercise confirming that 303 students and 12 teachers were taken during the attack. The association says earlier reports were revised after it discovered that 88 students previously thought to have escaped were actually recaptured by the attackers. CAN is calling for calm and asking Nigerians to continue praying for the safe return of the remaining abductees. Meanwhile, it denies claims that the school received any prior warning to shut down its boarding facilities before the attack, as earlier alleged by the Niger State government. Still on security concerns, the Bauchi State government has ordered the immediate closure of all public and private schools in the state. This includes state-owned primary, secondary, and tertiary schools, as well as federal government schools. The announcement was made in a press statement by the Ministry of Education's Information Officer, Jalaluddin Usman. The government says it is committed to protecting students and asks the public to stay calm, be alert, and report any suspicious activities. Well, in the meantime, the Nigerian military says it is reviewing claims that soldiers were withdrawn from a KB secondary school shortly before bandits attacked and abducted 25 schoolgirls. The defense headquarters explains that a thorough assessment is underway to determine what happened, noting that troops deployment decisions are normally based on intelligence and the broader security picture. It adds that if the review uncovers any lapses, the armed forces would take immediate corrective action. The military also condemned the Kebbi and Niger school abductions and says troops are pursuing actionable intelligence to rescue the student and arrest the attackers. Last week, 25 students were abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi State. Meanwhile,